7 for a 35-pack. Terrell Biddle, 3 above after being better on the reaction time with an 017 tree, but it did not work. 7 and 8, load up, please. 7 and 8, load up, please. Jeff Turner and Dan Dishin coming up here. Jeff Turner out of North Carolina in the S10 truck on the left side, dialed in at 681. We'll get the big head start from the Roadster from Logansport, Indiana, on the right-hand side. Dishin dialed in at 548. Oh, baby. Jeff Turner, if he plays this one correctly, yes, he does. 002 reaction time and going more than a tenth above. The Roadster was way late on the reaction time and goes 4 above and gets there second by 45 hundredths of a second. Obviously, the pickup's windows were not fogged up. Or he didn't hear him coming, one or the other. John Joins and Chuck Mellick are coming up next. Mellick in that really cool 1980 Plymouth Arrow that looks like an old pro stock car from the day. I'm not sure if it is or not, but and it looks like we found somebody's neck collar. So I have to wonder if that was from the Roadster, considering he was the last and most recent open car that I had seen in quite a while. So unless somebody just happened to throw it out their window at the right time. Somebody on the live feed said world-class snooze. The sad part is that I saw somebody that had a reaction time that started with a 1 and then it had a decimal point after it. So that is not the worst reaction time we've had all day. And the tree drops. Both cars are away clean and green. Better reaction time by 16 thousandths in the left-hand lane. Wind light is on the right-hand side as Melnick comes around by 24 ten-thousandths of a second, going 3 above his 695 prediction. Joe Harper and Terry Gregory coming up here. Gregory in the Street Roadster out of Stuart, Florida, dialed in at 558, and he will leave first as Harper dials in the Avenger at 515. Nasty, 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 and the red light on, and whoa, Harper doing a good job containing it. He's going to try to make the run anyway. Gregory on an 010 reaction time goes 563 on a 558. 004 red for Harper, and then going a couple tenths above as he took the long way to 660 feet. And we apologize about some of the delays here as we are getting things sorted out with the dial-ins, as some people did not write them on their rear window, so we have to get them off the side. And for anybody that asked, yeah, I saw it up here a few times. 610 entries is the official count. I was told that, hang on, let me take a look, because I know I sent it to people. Kevin Mendenhall and Robert Ledbetter, the Pontiac-powered Pontiac out of Fort Pierce, Florida, on the right-hand side, dialed in at 586. Kevin Mendenhall out of Pennsylvania in the wheel-standing Vega, dialed in at 624, and he goes 12 red, and Ledbetter getting away with one here as he's 052 green, but goes 587 with a 4 on his 586 dial-in, and Mendenhall letting out of the gas and coasting to an 8 flat ET. All right, so once again, I am going to clarify just because I want to see where we are, because somebody did ask. So 610 entries on the grounds. Here we go. 310 in the box category, 195 in the no box category, and 105 juniors was the official count that we got from round number 1. We thank everybody for coming out here to Palm Beach International Raceway for the 6th annual New Year's Nationals presented by Gaspar Body and Paint. Yeah, Tim Goolsby says I'm still doing okay, thankfully. So I don't know what we got going on here, but the Nova on the right-hand side is pre-staged. And James Oliver for some reason, James Oliver did not like his burnout, so I think he's going to try this one more time. Ready, and the other side of the racetrack is Jamie Silence out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. The 68 Nova dialed in at 616. Green light on for Oliver with an 021 and letting go 005 on the red side is Jamie in the right-hand side. James Oliver punching it through, dead on 1 for a 22 package, and Jamie can only think about what he could have possibly done with his 005 had it been green. Driver in the right-hand lane is Dylan Pruss out of Loxahatchee, Florida. 1980 mile Camaro dialed in at 637. And the car in the left lane I have no data on. Dialed in at 640. Huge reaction time difference here. Dylan Pruss in control and gets the win light by taking 11th thou and working the finish line right. 643 on a 637, and 075 reaction time will do you no favors for the left-hand lane. That's why the left-hand lane is not winning. Garrett Griffin and Antonio Santiago coming up next. Garrett Griffin out of Alexandria, Kentucky in the S10 pickup truck. The Mustang of Antonio Santiago dialed 671 on the right-hand side of the racetrack. .004 reaction time for Antonio Santiago in the Mustang, and he makes it pay off. Dead on 4, 671, 8th thou package, and Garrett Griffin had no chance with an 019 reaction time, and he breaks out by 4 thousandths of a second. Still does not get there first. Trying to get everything lined out here in the tower as I've got my wife Cindy on the phone here with me. I'm not gaining any favors with that call out. Bug McCarty and Aaron Milton coming up here. Milton out of Minnesota. 95 Firebird dialed in at 533. And Bug McCarty, the wheel standing 67 Camaro. Once again going wheels up on a 005 reaction time. He's got the reaction time advantage, and win light is on. 596 with a 0 on a 595. He's 005. That's 15 total. And Aaron Milton was 14 on the tree and gets 9th thou behind and probably did not get there. Bug McCarty going to round number 3 on that entry. Okay, here comes Nick Ferrero in the S10 truck, left side, dialed in at 616, and Larry Hamby purging the nitrous on his 580 dial in Bel Air. Going wheels up, but dead late is Nick Ferrero. Hamby, 0.04 of a second advantage in his pocket, and the win light is on. 16 thousandths of a second is the margin of victory as Hamby 009 going 585 on his 580. Ferrero 200ths over his 616 prediction. Here comes multi. Actually, let's make it double digits. Track champion Roy Hagedorn. The 81 Suzuki dialed in at 550 will go almost heads up with Bill Pollard's 03 Cavalier. And they're only 6th thou apart on reaction time. And unfortunately, Hagedorn's mount goes silent. Pollard turns around and catches it in time, 562 on a 546. The Lake Worth-based Cavalier moves on to the next round.
Best losing package in O-Box. Yes, sir.
Unfortunately for Roy Hagedorn, he has pulled it over to the side and shut it off. Unfortunately, Roy Hagedorn having some issues, and that is unfortunate as normally he is pretty rock solid on that motorcycle. So we're going to be down here for just a minute as his wife, Candy, who is also a multi-time division champion on her own motorcycle. They terrorized Bradenton and Showtime, and even when it was called Sunshine. And Roy Hagedorn thinks that coming back up the racetrack is going to be the faster way to go, so they're going to push him back up. Oh, you want me to call that? Okay. Attention in the junior dragster pits, please. Attention in the junior dragster pits, please. If you are aging out, your ceremony will be at 7:30 sharp before church tomorrow morning under the tower. I believe there are 14 of you, and we would like you all to participate. This is something that is very important to Rob Reynolds, and we would very much appreciate your attendance. So once again, if you are aging out of a junior, and we heard that there are 14 of you, we would like you under the tower at 7:30 sharp. That is before the Racers for Christ service with Phil Green. So Jake Hodge making a comment about the Xbox. I'm not sure what exactly that means because Jake Hodge probably has time to play an Xbox but doesn't have time to watch really good movies from 1980s. Right, exactly, you will. So Jake Hodge once again is, yep, and by the way, just go ahead and hate me. You still have second entry in play, correct? So you're 3-0 and I'm 1-2. So you just made it look good going dead on too. Okay. I am literally going to start asking Jake Hodge for advice on how to drive a race car because I dropped on the brakes a little too late. Yeah, there's some guy driving Tim Goolsby's Wahoo-sponsored 78 Malibu. Wahoo is a seafood restaurant up in Gainesville that is very good considering it is an hour away from either ocean. That's okay. I don't judge about the fact you don't eat seafood. You what? That's okay. Actually, my best friend's wife is allergic to shrimp and peanut butter. You want to talk about being dealt a bad hand? Huh? Yep. Oh, by the way, so I'm sitting here watching all the comments pop up on the Motor Mania stream as we get a little bit of cleanup going, but I've just been given the signal to load them up. We're going to do some burnouts here in just a minute. It's magic. Okay. I'm learning a whole lot about Jake Hodge up here in the tower tonight. No, actually, Easton did a really good job, man. You should be proud of that. Oh wow. Actually, no. I think he emulated your. Oh, you just took a whole bunch. Robbie joins and Johnny Brandon, and I'm looking to see if it's little Johnny. Yeah, it looks like John Boat. Yep. As I see John Sr. standing there. Now the interesting thing is that according to Vicky, John Sr. was called Johnny Brandon, and then everybody started calling his kid Johnny. And so how does that work? Yep. Ooh, Johnny Brandon just stuffing it right on in there, and then yeah, the mothership car that every Brandon has driven. 016 green in the right and an 017 green in the left, and Brandon turns on the win light. 616 with an 8 on a 615 and gets there first by 9 little numbers as Robbie joins. May not have got there. 006 on the tree and goes 3 above his 533 prediction. And here comes, oh geez, I need to talk to my dad about parking correctly. Skinny Kenny Underwood in the 92 wheel standing forward, left lane dialed 606, and Doug Putnam, the 1967 Camaro called Boogaloo, dialed in at 710. Looking for the run of his life right here. And he is in contention. There is 5 thousandths of a second between them on the reaction time. Nope, win light coming on for Kenny Underwood by 8 little numbers as he goes 607 with, I think, a little bit of mile an hour to spare. And Doug Putnam goes 2 above his 710 prediction. And gave Kenny Underwood a good run, but came up short. Michael Fulks and Steve Hatfield coming up here. Steve Hatfield out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. The 57 Chevy Bel Air, otherwise called a shoebox Chevy, dialed in at 498. I love some of the comments here on Motor Media TV. I now see what Jake was referring to, and no, I'm not repeating that. Well, he's probably referring to the whole thing with South Park. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, dragsters, double entries. Dragsters, double entries to lanes 5 and 6, please. Dragsters, double entries to lanes 5 and 6. Fulks was ahead a little bit on the reaction time on the motor scooter, but comes up second by 16 thousandths of a second as Hatfield is 012 on the tree and goes dead on his 498 prediction for a 19 total and gets there 16 little numbers in front. Ron Merkel and Mike Ledford coming up here. Ledford out of Michigan in the 95 S10, dialed 611. Merkel's 68 Firebird, based out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, dialed 673. So once again, a big thank you to Wright Trailers for putting on today's action in the Friday edition of the New Year's Nationals. Green lights on both sides, and Mike Ledford carrying 200ths of a reaction time advantage in his pocket. Win light is on his side, 615 on a 611. And gets there first by 12 thousandths of a second. Okay, so apparently something going wrong. Apparently something going wrong once again on the Austin Logan and Jonathan Unger coming up here. Unger in the 69 Dart, dialed 625. Logan dialed in at 624 in the Port Charlotte-based Camaro, left-hand side, as we once again are apparently getting some static, so we're going to try and work on that. So going to work on it. For Unger by 2 thousandths, and Austin Logan goes red right behind him by 4 thou, and here's the advantage of being the faster car. All right, so we're once again going to give this a shot, and hopefully we get, we see if it's better. Motor Maniacs, let us know if this is a little bit better, as Jake is tweaking the knobs and hopefully making things better. So let us know if that's better. Here comes our rematch. All right, so one person just said yes on live. How many times can you say unfortunate? I don't know. I guess I'll try and think of another word. I keep going back to whatever is normal or comfortable to me, so I'll try something different. Hunter Jackson and Joe Suchek Jr. on their way. Sochek, and it doesn't matter. Sochek is, well, he's on the trailer as he breaks out by 2 thousandths of a second, and the truck going dead on with a 9 for a 29 pack, and that will take care of it. Okay, everybody says yes, it is good now. All right, for anybody that did not get their helping hand of the Racer Appreciation Dinner, there is plenty left over, including drinks. I have been told it is in pit spot number 1, where we are selling T-shirts. So you can go over there and check out those really cool-looking New Year's Nationals T-shirts and pick yourself one up, or up one, whichever way you want to say it. Ken Grant and Ron Cooper Jr. coming up here as Ron Cooper in the Camaro and Ken Grant on his second entry in the Georgia-based Nova, and his 000 on the reaction time, and hopefully he works it right. Yes, indeed. Gets it done right there. Yeah, the left lane was 081 on the tree, and that's why 4 above does not beat 7 above. Ken Grant, 000, move on. Once again, we have called dragster double entries to lanes 5 and 6. Dragster double entries to lanes 5 and 6, please. Here comes Matt Daddis and the Chrysler Conquest. All right, so we are all ready to rock and roll. Daddis on his way on a 004 reaction time. He's got almost 400ths of a second of advantage in his pocket. Win light is on for Daddis. 636 with a 0 and a 633, and got there by 12 little thousandths as Paul Ramey dead on 3, but he was behind by 39 thou on the bulb, and that is why he did not get a win light. 043 reaction time will not usually win a race for you against Matt Daddis. Mike White coming up in the 63 split window Corvette in the right-hand side, dialed in at 471. Jonathan McCandless, the 33 Dodge Roadster, left steer, beautiful looking purple from up here. North Carolina base, dialed in at 585. He will lead first by a little over 1 second. I just got an update that the OSU halftime score is 35-14. And a 9 red reaction time for McCandless. That means Mike White will move on. 471 with a 6 on a 471. 031 on the tree. And Charlie Cimino, or Cimino. Out of Lauderhill, Florida, 1965 GTO in the left lane, dialed in at 601. Matt Sackman out of Illinois, the Chevy S10, dialed in at 641. Will be our next pair up. Once again, dragster double entries have been called to lanes 5 and 6. Dragster double entries, lanes 5 and 6, please. Going wheels up on a 0.25 reaction time and 200ths of a second. In the deficit column is Charlie, but he lights the bulb anyway. Sackman might have led him back around. 602 on a 601 with an 0.25 tree, and Matt Sackman was 004 on the bulb and did not get there in time. Here comes an all-Nova battle right here on the starting line. Tucker Creech and Vinny Costa. Costa on the right side, dialed 562, and the winner of the box shootout yesterday, Tucker Creech, dialed in at 575 in the all-silver Nova in the left-hand side. Not sure if Nasty Nick Hastings has made a pass yet. I want to say I've seen him go down on one entry, but that might not be correct. So for Motor Maniacs that are asking, we'll double check. And oh wow, Tucker Creech 20 on the red side, Vinny Costa 015 on the green side, and then goes dead on 9 for 24 total. And Tucker Creech lights it up dead on 7, but 020 red eliminated his chances from the hit. Matt Brewer and Cindy Wiggins coming up here. Cindy Wiggins in the El Camino dialed 614. Matt Brewer in the little S10 truck dialed in at 625. Nick is in round 3. Thank you for somebody jumping in there. Joanne Walter, thank you. Both of them going wheels up, and Wiggins carrying a big reaction time advantage on the El Camino. Yep, wind light is on. 619 with a 2 on a 614. 003 on the tree. Matt Brewer uncharacteristically late and goes 5 above his 625 prediction. Nasty won both entries. Thank you so much. Marilyn Jones about the Pro Charger. Were you talking to me or were you talking to somebody else on Motor Mania? Jeremy Bargo coming up in the pickup truck here out of Kentucky. 609 is the dial-in, and Austin Cardulis. Hopefully I got that right, out of Ohio, in the Pontiac Firebird, dialed in at 662 in the right-hand lane. Okay, Marilyn, the answer to your question hopefully is this year. The car is way too slow with the small block in it. All right, something weird happening on that one, and we'll have to bring those two back for another run at it, as for whatever reason the clock showed 000s up there for Bargo, so we'll have to get back around on that one. Here comes, we're going to hold the next pair here for just a second. All right, let's give it a try here with Ben Willis and Troy Conaway. .588 is the dial-in for Conaway and the Nova in the right-hand side. Ben Willis chooses a 698 dial-in for the S10 pickup truck. 008 tree for Ben Willis puts him 12 thousandths of a second ahead on the reaction time. And the wind light is on over there, even though Troy Conaway going a little closer on the dial-in. 24 10,000ths of a second is Ben Willis's stripe margin, and he takes the win, going 3 over his 698 prediction. Okay, here comes Jared Bargo and Don Strong. Don Strong out of the Davie, Florida area. With the 67 Camaro that used to be blue is now all black and dialed in 649. Jared Bargo. All right, so once again, it looks like we had a little bit of a weird thing happening there, so I don't know what is going on. So, yeah, we're going to have to bring that pair back. Corey Kramer in the right-hand side, dialed in at 579. The Nova in the left-hand lane, dialed in at 611. One red in the Cavalier. The Nova goes 614 with a 0 on a 611 with an 023 light. Corey Kramer breaks it out just for good measure. All right, so it looks like we lost our 8th mile marker, so we're going to put them on hold here for just a minute while we reset, make sure that everything gets cleaned up, and we'll go back to action here. So stand by, please. All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. All dragsters that are eligible for round number 2, all dragsters, I need you back for round number 2. Doubles, orange, and white run stickers. I need all dragsters eligible for round number 2 to come back to the lanes. All dragsters, round number 2, come to the lanes. All right, Doug Milner and Zachary Keown. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly because I know somebody corrected me on it earlier. Out of Levittown, Pennsylvania, the Mercury Cougar in the left lane, dialed 568. 547 is the prediction for Milner's 73 Pontiac. Milner holding the better reaction time by about 0.02 of a second. Winlight coming on his side as he goes 547 with a 5, dead on his prediction, 009 on the reaction time, and that will lock out the other side. Joe Foley and Tony Mazza coming up here. Foley out of North Carolina in the wheel standing Duster, dialed in at 593, and he will lead first by 0.6 of a second over Tony Mazza in Gene Kish's 67 Camaro. Green lights on both sides of the racetrack. Mazza, 0.02 of a second in better reaction time. Wind light is on that side. 534 with a 1 on a 006 tree. That is 17 total. Joe Foley is 0.25 on the bulb and goes 15 above to get 23 thou behind, and Mazza moving on that entry. Once again, we have called all dragsters eligible for round number 2. All dragsters eligible for round number 2. Bring them to the staging lanes, please. Here comes James Snyder and Scott Phillips. Both of these guys have raced at this track for many years, so I'm going to guess that this is just another pairing between them if they have probably been paired before. The Chevy 2 will leave first in the left lane based on the 618 to 575 dial-in difference. Green lights on both sides are about 5 thou apart. Wind light coming on for Phillips as both of them go on directly on their dial-ins, and Phillips 5 thousandths better on the tree and 5 thousandths better on the top end for a 10 thou margin of victory. Every time my cohort over here puts up the curtain, I think that he's getting ready to yell at me for something, so I want to make sure I keep him happy. Joe Campbell and Wes Neely coming up here. Wes Neely in the 67 Camaro, dialed in at 597 in the right side of the racetrack. 647 is the prediction for the Dodge Dart of Campbell out of Dania, Florida. Wind light coming on for Joe Campbell. He was behind on the tree by 100th of a second and goes dead on with a 3 to get there first by 4 thousandths of a second over Wes Neely and edging out the 67 Camaro, and he will go on to round number next. And oh boy, here comes a good pair right here. Shane Carr and Jake Hodge. Jake Hodge already moved on entry round number 1, and he is, he's got it corrected now. He was pointed a little bit left, and he's got that Chevy 2 pointed straight down the racetrack, and he will dial in 583 as he will face off against Shane Carr in the wheel standing Olds Cutlass in the right side of the racetrack, dialed in at 626. So Jake Hodge is finding himself some good competition here as he, oh baby, 007 in the left and an 015 in the right. Hodge taking both entries to round number 3. He's 007, 14 thou above, and gets there first by 1 thousandth of a second. Shane Carr going dead on 722 pack. Jake Hodge 21 total for his second win light of the round, and he will go to round number 3 with both entries intact. Joseph Bagwell coming up in that 481 dialed in 67 Nova. That is a fast little hot rod. And Bill Powell coming up in the Ford Mustang in the right-hand side, dialed in at 541. All right, trees all lit up and everybody on their way, and 005 for Bill Powell and 035 red for Bagwell. So that ends his day on that entry. Bill Powell putting together dead on, I read that wrong. 547 with an 8 on a 541, so he is not 13 total. He's 73 total. So, yeah, that's not as impressive, but 005 is pretty good, so he might have gotten out of the gas there, or it might have twitched around on him a little bit, but we're going to drag the track a little bit here before we send dragsters down, as we have one door car remaining, and then we have a whole bunch of dragsters in the staging lane, so we're going to do a little bit of track prep work here. Is almost finished with door cars for round number 2, and Jake Hodge is moving 2 entries to round number 3, and I believe Ken Grant is moving at least 1 entry on in round number 3, and he told me he's still a little bit rusty, but still going to round number 3, so I'm calling I can't say that one. 3X8W, and 219A is our second pair, and those are the guys that we need back for reruns, as unfortunately we had an 8th mile marker that decided it wanted to clip off the time early. So once again, we are on hold while we're dragging the racetrack, and a thanks to everybody out here at Palm Beach International Raceway for Right Trailers Friday as we pull everything together. We're almost done with round number 2 of box as we have dragsters to run. All right, attention in the pits. We have a parts call. We need a CSI water pump for a big block Chevy. If you could deliver that to Jeff Serra's trailer. CSI water pump for a big block Chevy is needed at Jeff Serra's trailer. If you have a spare and you could come over and deliver it to him, I'm sure he would very much appreciate that. Car count is 610 entries, and for those of you that are asking there, yeah, I have left that track at 3:30 before. Yes, I have left this racetrack at after 3 o'clock myself a couple of times. I am not bragging about that. It just happened to be late enough. So the official car count, 610 entries, 310 box cars. That's obviously door cars and dragsters. 195 cars in no box and 105 juniors. All right, rerun cars to lane number 9, please. Rerun cars to lane number 9. That's car numbers 652 and 394J. Also, we're going to add in 1X2N and 8X24. And then third pair is 3X8W and 219A. I need those 6 drivers to please report back to lane number 9 so we can get you paired up and run at the end of the dragster round. So once again, make sure you take time to cool them and fuel them. Do not rush. We want you to come back and be prepared. I think that's interesting. Somebody said Pratt Whitney is right across the highway and they test aircraft engines all night. The interesting thing is that Pratt Whitney is, I don't want to say a shell of what it used to be, but Pratt Whitney has relocated a lot of their operations up north. I want to say Connecticut is where most of it is. Marilyn Jones telling me to slow down. Yep. I'm a little flustered right now for some reason, so I'll get that under control. Hey, Gary Vasquez, thanks for checking in as got a whole bunch of Gainesville regulars here at the 6th annual New Year's Nationals. We appreciate everybody who came down and made the trip to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Yes, obviously a very big thanks to Motor Mania, and we appreciate everything that they are doing out here at the racetrack so we can enjoy this sport that we love. Big thanks to Right Trailers, once again, who is sponsoring today's race. You can get the hold of them at 863-66-RIGHT, and we appreciate them for being part of this action. Once again, we say thank you to them, and we also say thank you to Goolsby Racing Enterprises. GRE will be our sponsor for tomorrow. And we say thank you to Gaspar Body and Paint, who has picked up title sponsorship. They are the presenting sponsor right now, and they also help us on the feed on Motor Mania that is happening right now. So everybody that is checking it out, and we've got a whole bunch of work going on up here in the tower as well as we're trying to get all the logistics figured out. Once again, want to say thanks to our associate sponsors, Alpine Inn, Space Coast Speed and Custom, Junior X Driving School, All-Star Auto Service, Chassis Engineering, Cross Racing, Hellcat, Platinum Products, FTI, Performance Transmissions and Converters, Quality RV Sales, Boldry Racing, and South Florida Choppers. We say thank you so much to all of those people for putting on everything here at the 6th Annual New Year's Nationals. And as Joanne Walter so eloquently put it here on Motor Mania TV. A big thank you to Gas Bar Body and Paint for bringing the Motor Mania TV production to the 6th annual New Year's Nationals, and we appreciate everybody who's checking it out here. It's all lots of interesting ways of calling dragsters. I've been lanes 3 and 4 load up, please. Lanes 3 and 4 load up, please. We're getting the tractors almost ready to come off the racetrack, so 3 and 4 load up, please. As somebody said, lawn darts to the lanes, and I heard Rodney Fincham call them extension ladders yesterday. Once again, lanes 3 and 4 dragsters load up, please. Lanes 3 and 4 dragsters load up, please. So we're just giving the racetrack a quick drag before we start sending dragsters down here. Round number 2 will continue here in just a minute as we have a record car count here at the 6th annual New Year's Nationals, and just a whole lot of cars to get down the racetrack. And Jake Hodges picked up 2 wins in round number 2, so he's carrying 2 entries into round number 3. And Jeff Smith and WQ Boots, I appreciate you jumping on there to let them know how much the juniors was to win. Somebody picked up $5,000 in the shootout last night. The juniors run for $1,500 to win today and $1,500 to win tomorrow. Box and no box race for $10,000 to win each day, both today and tomorrow. Once again, if you did not get any food at the Racer Appreciation Dinner, I have been told that they have transported that to pit spot number 1. As long as you have not gotten anything to drink, anything to eat or drink, you might want to go over there and check that out. Pit spot number 1 is where you can pick up all of that. All right, so once again, thank you so much to everybody on Motor Mania who has let us know when the microphone isn't quite right, along with Joanne, and getting them taken care of as far as all the information that's getting passed around. We appreciate everybody for, as Rodney Fincham would say, liking and sharing and making sure that we get the views up there, because obviously they're being a big part of our promotion here. Yeah, Jeff Smith, that's a good point when you say that the junior parents are racing here this weekend, and I agree. It's definitely one of those deals where there's a lot of big money races where they do not run juniors, and for Rob Reynolds, he definitely provides an avenue where you can have parents and their kids racing at the same avenue, or excuse me, same event. All right, so the first dragster and the final door car coming up here after we gave the racetrack a little bit of a fluff up, as Blaine Meyer and Richard Cunningham will stage them up, as Blaine Meyer is in the 2003 Mullis chassis dragster in the left side, dialed 469. The Camaro of Richard Cunningham dialed in at 614, and the based out of Chester, South Carolina. For Cunningham, Woodstock, Georgia is home base for Blaine Meyer, and staging very, very carefully. There's a 100th in reaction time advantage going to the dragster. The win light is going to come on for the door car, going dead on 6 for a 56 package. Blaine Meyer might have not gotten there, going 3 above his 469 prediction, and he gets there second by 17 thousandths of a second. Everybody's sitting here talking about junior dragsters, and they're naming off some people that I think give some credence to the junior dragster ranks. Gage Birch, Nasty Nick Hastings, and Matt Dattis. How about Sean Langdon? How about a Top Fuel and Funny Car champion who came up through the junior dragster ranks? Oh, I'm sorry, he won the Super Comp National Championship too. So, yeah, if my kid was interested in drag racing as much as I am, I would probably find a way to get a junior dragster for him. Yep, somebody just typed in Sean Langdon, and yep, Leah Pruitt. Gary Williams and Cotton Short going at it right here. 2 thou apart on the bulb, and Gary Williams lighting the win light, going 21 thou above his 481 prediction, and his reaction time was not that impressive, but he's 0-14 in front. Gets the win light over Cotton Short. Tyler Bohannon and Mike Galati coming up here. Galati dialed in at 458, and Doug Putnam, who lined up with Skinny Kenny Underwood and come up 8 thousandths of a second short. I need to teach him how to park in the staging lanes a little bit better. Although he did better than the other Putnam in the clan, as I went 1 and 2, and he got one more win light than I did. So Tybo staging up here on the left side of the racetrack on a 461 dial, and Galati will stage up on a 458 dial in out of Pennsylvania on the right-hand side. Oh, one and only Jared Pennington checking in here on Motor Mania. He says he came up through foot brake, and Jared Pennington, the man behind the World Foot Brake Challenge with his partner Steve Sykes. And Jared, it's good to hearing from you. All right, so we're on hold here for just a second while we check something out. We will be back into action here in just a minute, so please stand by. All right, so everything is checked out. Drew Smith and Mark Kelly coming up here to do battle. Green lights a pair. Mark Kelly holding a 17 thou advantage in the right lane, and the left-hand lane goes silent. 464 on a 447 for Mark Kelly, and he will move on. The left lane is unfortunately shuttered off, it seems like, so we're going to double check and make sure that there's no fluid down. Oh, and I just got told that Jared Pennington is actually JJ Pennington. So, JJ, we appreciate you checking in this evening, and good to hear from a fellow announcer on the Motor Mania TV. Appreciate all that you and your dad have done for multiple events. All right, so we're going to check out the racetrack here before we send anybody else down, as there is a little bit of chatter. So once again, we are going to be on hold here for just a little bit. So we ask that you please stand by as we double check everything out. So please stand by. Abigail Romeo, there are a couple of announcers out here. The one that's currently on the mic is Derek Putnam. I appreciate Tim Roberts chiming in there. And Jake Hodge is our normal official announcer here for the New Year's Nationals. And then Lee Sebring has graced us with his presence, and he does all the junior dragster eliminations and time runs. And he has also jumped over and done a little bit of extra work, as Jake Hodge is actually racking up wins in a borrowed 67 Chevy 2. And he's also getting his son Easton ready for the second round of junior dragsters. So we have a couple different people out here that are announcing today. Mopar Man, why only round 2? That's a good question. I think it took us almost 6 hours to finish round number 1 because we had 610 entries. And we did have some new cars that did not make it here yesterday. And since this is Friday, and this is our biggest car count by a bunch, we had probably an hour and a half of time runs for new entries, and then we got started with round number 1 about 10:30, and then we had re-entry round, and then we went to round number 2. So that was part of it. David Scott, I appreciate the encouragement. Thank you very much. So we haven't had too many issues, but we haven't been down for too much. I mean, we've had a few broken cars, but I don't think we've had really a whole lot of cleanup. But we have definitely had a record number of entries, and that is slowed us down a little bit as far as getting everything through. So that's part of it right there. JJ, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Once again, we are on hold. get that figured out, we go back to actually, we'll see what's going on here, but we appreciate everybody's patience as we are checking out the racetrack as the RT Promotions crew is out there doing a great job. And Bob Moles from former Moroso Motorsports Park and Bradenton Motorsports announcing fame, and one of the guys I look up to when my dad and I first started coming to the racetrack. That means a whole lot. Thank you so much, Bob Moles. Appreciate that. Dad is actually sitting here beside me in the tower. So this is the good/bad thing about being a race promoter that is also a racer, is they want to do the best they possibly can and make all the right calls. And it also means that if you do a good job, that you will get a big number of turnout, and sometimes that means that you will have really long days. The Million is a perfect example of that. They don't even give time runs, and they still run until the wee hours of the morning, and that's only one class. We're running 3 different ones, so I'm sure that does present its own a little bit of difficulty. Not necessarily a bad deal. Yeah, definitely. Bob Moles is in my opinion, a legend when it comes to announcers here in the Southeast, as Bob Moles has his own unique style, and you could definitely tell when he was on the microphone. And like I said, I was blessed to race at Moroso Motorsports Park in the 80s and 90s when Mike Mitchell was the manager here, and then Bob Moles did it just a little bit before him, and then Bob Moles moved over to the West Coast and was the familiar voice that you heard at Bradenton Motorsports Park for quite a long time. So once again, we are checking out the racetrack, so we would appreciate it if everybody be patient with us as we get an idea of what's going on, and we will be back underway here in a little bit as far as making a decision and seeing where we're at. So once again, don't want anybody to jump to conclusions before we have a decision, but stand by and we will let you know what's going on.
So it has clearly reached that point in the evening where it's raining. The dew point is just above the temperature now, so everything is saturated, everything is wet. We're having problems with track sensors. Obviously, it is wet out here. You look at the top of every race car, it looks like it's rained on top of them. So before we ball one up, we're going to stop for the evening. Obviously, we're probably going to be here Sunday at this point, but we'll make that decision later. But we're not wrecking a race car. We probably could run by juniors and get them down, but we don't want anything to happen to anybody. We're safety first, racing second, no matter what. So the racing is done for the evening. We are pairing up 3 pairs. We are pairing up 3 pairs. That will be your 3 designated pairs. You can change your dial-in the morning, but that will be your opponent. The next 3 pairs are paired up. But we are done for the evening. We are not wrecking a race car this evening right here at Palm Beach International Raceway. And on so as we were saying, the dew point has met.
Test.
All right, let's try this. Is that better? Can we hear us now? All right. So the dew point is higher than the temperature outside, so it might as well be raining out here. We're having problems with sensors. We're having problems with traction. We're not crashing a race car tonight. We have 3 pairs wrote down. You can change your dial-in the morning. That will be the first 3 pair of dragster we call in the morning, and everybody else will fall in behind. Yes, we could probably send people down the racetrack, but we don't want to tear up any race cars. This is why we have Sunday planned, if we need it. So we are going to have new entry time runs at 9 a.m. Junior dragster aging out ceremony 7:30 a.m. under the tower. Chapel service 8 a.m. in the grandstands next to the tower. So before we hurt any race car this evening, we are done for the evening. We are having sensor issues. We are having race car traction issues just due to the dew point. It is wet. It is very moist outside, and we are not crashing a race car right here at PBIR. It is not worth it. There are 2 calls here. You either play with fire or you play it safe. And playing with fire, we've got a car down 407 in the water box, and yeah, his stuff's probably set up pretty good, but we need to play on the side of caution here. So we have the first 3 pairs wrote down. That will be your first 3 pairs of the morning. We are done for the evening. Junior dragster aging out ceremony 7:30 a.m. Chapel service 8 a.m. And as far as MotorManiaTV.com goes, good night. We will see you guys 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you to Mark and Joanne Walter, MotorManiaTV.com. Thank you to David Gaspar. I got to meet him earlier. Gaspar Body and Paint. Thank you to Right Trailers for Right Trailer Friday. So we will see you bright and early. Junior dragster aging out ceremony 7:30 a.m. We are done here at Palm Beach International Raceway for the evening. We'll see you all bright and early. Should be still some beverages over at the Racer Appreciation Dinner if you are interested.
Okie dokie, that's a wrap for tonight. We will pick up, they said they will pair up the first 3 pair that were supposed to be in the staging lanes. They'll pair them up in the morning after the new entry time runs. Okay, and then following that, we will continue through round 2 of box to its completion, and then into the juniors. So that's what they, you don't want to wad one up. You just don't. Okay, thank you to Gaspar Body and Paint for sponsoring Motor Mania TV and keeping this broadcast free to you, the viewer. Also congratulations to Max in Quebec, who won the drawing on the big screen TV. Okay, I'm gonna get out of y'all's face, say your goodbyes to each other, and we will see you probably somewhere around 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, we'll see you then. Bye.